Most Sundays, I host a little confessional for my followers over at Twitch, where I point and laugh, listen respectfully, to their sins and embarrassing confessions. I promise it's really soul cleansing, so come on by sometime. Here's a little one. We're starting small, maybe sins, maybe they're not sins, maybe they're just things you want to tell Mommy Giwi.
You want to tell chat, you want to tell Mommy Giwi, you
and
want to tell
Father
chat.
Ross. That's Daddy Ross to me, you can call him that just today.
What do you mean by that?
Forgive me, Mommy, for I have sinned. I learned how to mod games in order to see sticks and titties in those games.
That's
sounds familiar.
Perfectly fine. Me and Giwi, we were visiting a friend of ours in Florida, and we played Witcher 3, and we installed all the mods that gave Geralt a big flopping cock.
It was actually fully erect.
He was a shower, not a well, he wasn't. He was a shower, not a grower. I don't think he was erect.
It was.
But it was great.
Ross, I
Was it
remember
erect?
it. It was definitely erect.
I guess I wasn't paying enough attention.
Once got a small vibrator stuck up my ass and was on the toilet for like 30 minutes, an hour trying to get it out, loudly crying.
Well, you're just gonna turn up the settings so it can wriggle and wiggle out of there.
That's so sad. I hope you got it out. One Snail Mary, and hopefully you don't have to go to the doctor. This one guy, ooh, you're in trouble.
Dear Mother Giwi, I was walking outside today when I accidentally stepped on a poor little worm and killed it. I'm ready for my judgment.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah.
Shame. Shame.
I accidentally traumatized my family by creating a haunted photograph. I come from a very religious family. When I was younger, I went on a trip to a sacred place where my aunt tried to take some pictures. Unfortunately, she wasn't very good with technology, so she ended up taking a lot of pictures in panorama mode. And since the people in the picture were always moving, we ended up with some janky images. One particular image was where a woman's head was disconnected from her body. Apparently, my whole family was terrified of the image, convinced that it was haunted. A decapitated woman. Terrifying. It didn't scare me because I'd seen the setting my aunt was using to take the pictures, and even fixed it for her. But apparently I was the only one who knew, so while my family cowered in fear from the headless lady, I laughed. And the worst part, I really liked that picture. So,
Sounds cool.
Every few days, I'd go through my grandmother's recently deleted album to check if she deleted the image and restore it.
That's evil.
So if the headless lady wasn't bad enough on its own, my poor old grandmother now had a picture that kept on coming back no matter how many times she tried to get rid of it. I brought it up to my parents recently and they basically have me what have you done? Look, so I'm gonna guess that the emotional trauma I caused back then was quite severe.
Oh, that's so
And it wasn't even intentional.
What do you
Also,
mean wasn't intentional?
I was around 10 years old at the time.
10, wow. And
That's
better at
so
technology.
evil.
That's so funny. Wait, when you were like restoring it, what do you mean it wasn't
prank.
intentional? You
Great prank.
You just didn't. Honestly, great prank.
When I was a young boy, my sister had Furby. She loved it very much. Occasionally it would just start talking out of the blue unprompted, saying shit like, Mesa Wisa Bo Boo Mala Liquidu. I found it so annoying. One day I was walking past my sister's room and the thing started talking nonsense.
Ugh. Yeah, they did that.
This thing would wake me up from naps all the time. I was so sick of it. I pulled a coin out of my pocket and threw it directly at it, full force. Hit it right between the eyes and it started making dying noises like a dying robot powering down. After that it never spoke again and was entirely broken. Never told her how or why. Fuck that little goblin.
True. Those things.
Little goblin.
We all hate Furbies. I don't think anyone who grew up in that era enjoyed Furbies, except for maybe the sister. That's fucked up. This one sounds juicy. Okay, this one sounds juicy.
I was a victim in a love triangle. So basically there were these two friends of mine, both girls, and we always hang out with the friend group. A couple days after Valentine's Day this year, one of them started calling me Let's call this one girl number 1. And she just told me she needed to confess something to me. I was a bit skeptical and thought this was some prank, although she told me this was serious. So she just confessed to me that she likes me and how this has started a couple years ago. I was pretty surprised, TBH, so I told her I needed some time to think about it. A couple hours later, I was playing some Fall Guys, and all of a sudden girl number 2 called, and she called me, and welp, I guess you already know where this is going.
I don't.
He asked you to play Stumble
She
Guy.
confessed to me that she also liked me, and at this point I'm getting really sketched out.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
weird.
I told her the same thing and said I needed some time to think about it. The next day both of them called, and then we all had this really confusing conversation, and both of them started fighting over me. At this point I just left the call and went to take a shower. To be continued.
To be continued.
Hey, brother, I know a real good solution for that problem.
They call him Mr. Bitches. That's a real Mr. Bitches moment. You must really got Riz. I think this is another instance of someone calling in to humble brag in the confessional. I mean, look, good for you, but man, like, if I went into the confessional as like, my father, forgive me for I have sinned. I have a big giant wang. It's fucking 12 inches long, and it's also fucking 6 inches wide, and I feel so bad.
How much sex I have, I can never come.
I can never come, my father.
So while I was going to public school, I am now homeschooled by myself. Freshman year of high school I was late every single day. I lived almost an hour away from my high school and my brother's was 10, which, he was really young at this time. He was awful in the mornings. It eventually became a big problem and they gave me detention for a week saying I could just ride the bus, which I couldn't for reasons. Detention happens and a week goes by and I'm still late every day. He eventually gave me 3 months straight everyday detention.
Jeez.
I didn't go, not a single day, because they thought my friend that was in it was me. Which didn't make sense because she had a twin and I don't, but I never got in trouble for it, and she got like 3 months of my detention.
What?
I
She had to
kinda
go
feel
instead?
bad for it now, but she said she liked detention. Person shrugging, light skin tone.
What a pervert. Who likes detention? Okay, well, she said she liked it? I think you're off the hook, my child. I mean,
Yeah, I think you're fine.
your friend's like a freak.
Forgive me, worm god below, for I need to confess a secret I've confided in only one other,
Please.
but cannot keep to myself any longer.
Okay,
I, a girl, have a girlfriend who does martial arts.
nice.
And she one day jokingly held me at knife point. I was incredibly and shamefully turned on. In public. I have never been more thankful to not have a worm to wriggle in my pants and give me away. I am no longer ashamed of my newly discovered knife kink, but it is potentially even more atrocious that she didn't find out until one day when I was feeling some kind of way and pulled her down to my level and whispered, "Baby, please get the knife," in a very specific, somewhat pathetic tone. Luckily she agreed with me in that my method of coming out with a knife kink to her was rather funny. We now are living happily ever after.
I mean, listen, as long as you're playing safe.
I broke my brother's arm and blamed the fact that he fell off of the sidewalk wrong to my parents.
Wait, what?
That's kind of bad.
Wait, they lied about their brother breaking their arm.
They broke their own brother's arm.
Wait, so was the brother too young to like narc on them? I don't
'Cause,
understand.
I mean, if someone broke my arm, I would rat immediately.
Yeah, so like, wait, was it like a baby brother? Because that's even more fucked up.
Yeah, was it a baby? Who did this? Who did it? And why didn't your brother just say, fucking liar, rat, liar? You know, like why, like what? This is pretty bad. Breaking bones, you know, this is not my wheelhouse. Worms do not have bones. I don't really know a whole lot about this arena, but I hear tell that it's not a very pleasant sensation for you guys.
Forgive me, mommy, for I have sinned. Last week I was having a one-night stand with a woman I met in a bar. During the fun, the full moon rose. Her fingers grew into claws, her face into a muzzle, her skin into fur.
What?
She transformed into a werewolf. And I liked it. Really, really, liked it.
Wow.
Now I'm addicted to werewolf and cannot stop looking up Winder for werewolf partners.
Congrats. I don't know. It sounds like you're just bragging, to be
That's awesome.
perfectly.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You get one bonk. One bonk for you. Well, one more bonk.
In senior, High school, yeah, I had this girl in the friend group that I got bad vibes from. She was 23. No one else felt them and thought she was super nice and lovely. We come to find out she has a private Twitter that she won't let any of us see. So I catfished her for 3 weeks on her public Twitter, pretended to be a stan of the same character she obsessed over, got her to let me follow her private Twitter, saw a ton of tweets severely bashing me and her other friends in the group, slut shaming, fat shaming, calling some of us complete morons. You know, real mature stuff. Screenshot 'em all, then sent 'em to the others in our friend group. We soon broke all contact with this rude person after that smiley face.
Whoa.
Damn.
That is like, honestly, like, what, I wonder how bad the vibes were and what
They
they
must have
said or
been
did to make
vibes.
you want to take that level of like covert operation, fucking Watergate level shit to prove that they're a snake.
Their fucking
That's
spidey senses were like,
crazy.
I know she's talking shit.
When I was in 3rd grade, my mom put her credit card onto my iPad to let me spend like $5 or $10 on Dragon City. I ended up spending over $300 on not only Dragon City alone, but 200 more on other apps. That's 500. I'm now almost graduating from high school and she still shares this story to literally all my friends everywhere.
I mean, she's right. You're lucky that's all she did. $500 on microtransactions.
Dude,
this is why you don't
listen.
put your credit card in the children's iPad.
I once got so horny that I jerked off, out in the open, in the middle of a rather busy hiking trail.
Okay.
This is an actual confession. Like, this is some devious shit. What was it that got you going? Was it like just the beautiful view, you know, like the majesty of nature?
He felt the call of nature and he needed to wriggle and wiggle.
I guess. This is some fucked up shit though. In the middle of a busy hiking trail. If you were like, I ran away into the woods and I hid behind a tree, I'd be like, I don't know. Something's wrong, but at least you tried. You will be forgiven, but you have to promise not to do this again, and you have to say 69 snail marries. I don't want to see any more wriggling and wiggling in the middle of a hiking trail.
I lied to my coworkers that my glasses are prescription. I just look cute in them.
As someone who can't see dick, I find this very funny, but also, why are you lying? Just say you like your glasses. Just say you think you look cute. 12 snail marries, and also, you know what? It's nice that you think glasses are fashionable. This one's kind of juicy. This one's kind of an actual confession. All right, we're doing it. Fuck it. We ball.
The other day, I decided to have half of an edible because I wanted to relax.
Of course.
I had half of it, and then when it started to kick it, I realized that it made me super horny. As one does, I used my trusty vibrator and got the job done. After I finished, the edible was starting to hit, so I accidentally fell asleep.
Accidentally, yeah.
I woke up a couple hours later because I had to go to the bathroom. I searched on my bed and I couldn't find the vibrator, and I assumed that it may have fallen off the bed or was in the covers. I went to the bathroom and sat down and I hear a plop. It was my vibrator falling into the toilet. I then had to proceed to shove my whole hand into the toilet water to recover it because I couldn't find a pair of gloves. I had to buy a new vibrator.
Well,
I mean, you should.
It sounds like punishment enough, honestly. You had to buy a whole new one, and that's pretty embarrassing. That's pretty embarrassing. But you know what? You can't help but get a little sleepy after an edible, so I get it. 69 snail marries.
There was one night where I was genuinely on something IDK what, but I was at my friend's house, and when I was alone with their mother something possessed me to unleash my riz and her face turned red, plus she was stomping her feet and everything. I think she fell in love with me. Anyways, I got kicked out and I'm not allowed inside anymore. I think she wants me, but I can't become my friend's stepdad crying.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say you sexually harassed somebody and they didn't, and you got kicked out of your friend's house. This is just an outsider's perspective. I don't know if it was Riz you were serving up that day. It might have been harassment.
Sexual harassment?
It might have been harassment, potentially. But we'll never know. We'll never know, but you did get banned from the house. Sexual harassment, correct. Yeah, I don't know. I think we might need to take a little step back and say, is it Riz if I get kicked out?